Hello everybody, this is Purge, bringing you guys another first-person replay commentary. This is a Naga Siren game that I played yesterday on stream. Doing the player perspective, I thought it'd be more instructional if I did a replay commentary, because when you play micro-intensive heroes, it's really difficult to talk and micro at the same time. So we're going to start things off by taking a look at the Dotabuff stats of Naga Siren. So if we pull this up here, we'll do this really quick here so you don't miss too much of the game. But the hero is very, very unpopular right now. It's almost never played. Look at this pick rate, 3% of all games. There was a period of time where Naga Siren was very popular in the pro scene. She has really good stat gain, her movement speed is really high, her base armor is really high, but she's almost never played. She received some nerfs recently. In terms of how often I play it, this is only my 23rd game of Naga Siren overall, so I almost never play this hero. So let's get into the game. Wait, I need to go to here and then uncheck this and then go in game. So I'm like, all right, we're all good. And we had a pause at the start. So first things first. Naga Siren as a hero is very dirty. When you play Naga Siren correctly, the games are not fun to play. At least if you're playing against Naga Siren. If you're playing Naga Siren, it's fun. I had a lot of fun playing this game on stream, and I'll link the URL down below. If you guys do want to watch that Naga Siren game, I'm going to edit it on Twitch, so you can look at the Twitch video of that if you're interested. If you want to watch the player perspective, like if you don't want to listen to me talk about Naga Siren for the amount of the game, then go watch that other video. You can watch me play Naga Siren, maybe it'll be more fun. But I thought this game was pretty fun to play, and the reason is because Naga Siren is obnoxious to play against. So when you're the one doing the obnoxious thing, it's usually pretty fun. At least that's my experience. Naga Siren is strong in the mid lane because what you do is you have a lot of space to grab items and farm. By sitting in the middle lane, you can grab farm in the middle lane, and you can very easily go to your jungle as well. So it's kind of similar to when you play heroes like Shadow Fiend. Any other hero that has a nuke, you can stack the large camp and farm it, for example. What I did was, and this is what top tier pros do. Obviously, I didn't do it nearly as well, but I tried to mimic this. What you do is you get as much farm in the mid lane as you can with your Lucians, and then you also farm the jungle sometimes. And I did do that. I kind of figured out the item build slightly. I should have bought a stout shield a lot earlier. I didn't actually buy tangos here. I got a pooled tango, which should be enough to get me a bottle, which is about 4 last hits. So I just needed to get 4 last hits, and then I'll have enough items to be able to jungle as in addition to farming the mid lane. So the first mistake that most Nagas make is they do the wrong skill build. The correct skill build is maxing mirror image first, and this is a little confusing. If you saw what the skill build was on Dotabuff, it was maxing out Riptide first. Going 4 levels of Riptide gives you more damage and more minus armor reduction, all that stuff, which is great. But the problem is that costs is that you can't farm as well with your illusions as a result. I mean, yeah, it does good damage, but you need to be able to farm with the illusions. If you look at how this scales, the most important metric is the damage taken. It's 600% at level 1, which means they take 6 times more damage than your hero does. And they only do 20% per hit, which is pretty good. Scaling that up, though, puts it up to 35%, which means that your 3 illusions end up doing a total of 105. It's basically a double damage. If your illusions are all hitting a target with you, and you don't have plus damage items, then you're actually doing... you're actually getting double damage out of it, which is cool, versus 60% increase. But the important part is that your illusions die pretty fast. Now, if I'm against a Skywrath Mage mid, the problem with Skywrath Mage, at least from my perspective, is that he does a lot of single target damage. He has a ton of harass, so I'm going to be taking a ton of damage this game, is what I'm expecting. And taking damage from that hero is very scary because he definitely can solo kill me, especially if another hero rotates into the lane. So this is a pretty scary matchup for me, but the good thing is that he doesn't have AoE, and because he doesn't have AoE, he can't really clear the illusions very well, so I can very easily run my illusions at him. Now, to use mirror image properly, the cool thing that you can do is dodge spells with it. As you saw with the first mirror image I used, but as a projectile is coming in, you can use mirror image, and you have a very, very short period of invulnerability. With that very short period of invulnerability, you should be able to dodge damage, and if you time it right, it's pretty cool. As you can see, he's clearing my illusions pretty easily here. But I've already got my bottle, which means I just need to focus on getting a rune if possible, which is why I used Riptide here, because I wanted to lower the armor of the creeps. That way I could guarantee the rune pickup. And I found a haste rune here, which is really good for me. He should have ran away immediately upon this moment. If somebody gets a haste rune, especially like if he has low armor like this, it's absolutely unreasonable for him to... Probably should have used an extra bottle charge there as I was approaching. I tried to dodge that tower hit, but obviously I missed it. It would have been nice if I dodged it, because I would add an extra 100 HP out of it. And rather than going, I ended up going back to base, but I probably should have checked bot rune for the for the bounty. And if I would have seen the bounty rune there, I think I could have gotten to it with my haste rune still up, and I would have been able to hit about half HP. It's maybe a little dangerous to do the opposite, but I opted to buy my items and back to base and all that good stuff. And I think I got a Quelling Blade here. I maybe should have gone Stout first, but the Quelling is really nice. It's an item that I talk about this like every carry video I play. I almost never buy Quelling, but it's so good. Like this game, I really felt like I understood how good it was, because it increases your damage against neutrals and creeps by 32%. That's huge. If we look at how much damage that is, that gives me, we'll say 10% of 55 is 5.5. Multiply that by 3 is about, what, 16 and a half, something like that. I'm getting 16 and a half damage for, at least right now. It'll scale, obviously. But I've got 16 and a half damage for 225 gold. A Blades of Attack gives you 9 damage for 450 gold, which is a lot. So by getting a Quelling Blade, not only does it help me last hit better versus the Sky, I didn't do the best job dodging here, but it gives me a lot of damage for a very low cost, and most importantly, it scales as the game continues. That was a gank by a Blanket here. I was not aware that he was coming. The skill build is pretty normal though. It's not weird to grab more Mirror Image. It's not weird to skip Ensnare either. The idea was skipping Ensnare. Despite Ensnare being a very long duration disable, it doesn't do damage. So what you generally want to do is you want to delay picking it up, because it doesn't do damage. All it does is allows you to lock down your opponents. And really you want more skill points in Riptide and Mirror Image, because that increases your farming rate. And playing Naga Siren mid is all about increasing your farming rate, because if you increase your farming rate, you'll grab your Radiance earlier. And the earlier you grab your Radiance, the harder it is for your opponents to deal with Naga Siren mid. The best way to play against Naga Siren mid is to gank her. And nobody has done that yet, really. The supports have not rotated. They have great supports for ganking with both Rubik and the Lion, but they haven't done it. So this is basically what we're doing. We're going to jungle here, and I'll keep my illusions in the lane. They'll continue to last hit, and my hero will be jungling in the meantime, because I have a stout shield, and that'll work a little bit better. Now I made a little bit of a mistake here. The main one is I don't have a stout shield left, first of all, and secondly, I could have used my illusions there for my illusion rune to tank, and that would have been really good to do. So while I've been grabbing last hits in the mid lane, I've also been able to grab a neutral camp. Obviously don't get experience in the mid lane, but the most important thing about lane creeps by far is the fact that you get experience out of them. Not that you get, that you get gold out of them, not that you get experience out of them. The experience from them is good, but if you can get experience from a jungle creep and gold from the lane creep, then you're completely getting paid off, and that's why you want to do this here. So I ended up casting at the wrong time point there. I keep trying to dodge it, but since the first one, I've been having a lot of trouble dodging it. Now, I pretty much just ran my creeps at the Skywrath here, and I think that was mostly good. I think I should have maybe pulled them back after that point, but it did allow me to grab like 5 last hits here. Maybe not 5, but yeah, I did get all the last hits. It was good. I had to song here. I let him get way too close to me. If I didn't song, I knew as soon as he casted his slow that I would have died. What he should have done is casted his silence on me. If he would have done that, he would have guaranteed me getting caught. And I'm a little bit away from a rune, so this is a little scary here. I bought an Aquila and I believe a Stout Shield. I should have checked bot rune more. I almost never did, but I should have been checking it to see if I had rune potential. But since he was there, I felt comfortable coming in for this last hit. Mirror Image, and I'm going to walk away to go get the top rune, and my illusions will continue to scout. I sent one in front of me because my HP is so low that if a support is actually at the rune, I didn't want to be walking straight into a death, so if I send my illusion first, I have extra vision. Just a little bit of a safety procedure here. I wanted to save my haste rune as well, but my HP was so low that I felt like I had to just use it. If you're playing a typical ganking hero, in a lot of cases, I recommend keeping the haste rune, but on a farming hero like Naga Siren, I think it was okay to just use this to get my regen up. Again, the important part is just getting as many last hits as possible. Obviously, the what's his name? The Skywrath Mage is doing a really good job lowering my HP. But this is basically what you have to do. You have to do a lot of bottle crowing on this hero usually. Your armor is really high, at least mine is in this case, but it's very difficult to... I wanted to move these in so I could Riptide. Oops, I messed that one up. Still kind of figuring out how to last hit here. How to micro, I mean. I do have a bottle coming back. Those two creeps together hit for about 60% of my base damage, which is decent. I wasn't getting all of the last hits, and in fact I didn't really farm this camp very well either. I could have done this more efficiently. I think I had my stout here, if I'm not mistaken. I hope I did, because I was losing a lot. I really should have bought the stout a lot earlier. And just drop your stat items usually when you're bottling up, because it'll give you slightly more regen over time. Yeah, it looks like I didn't buy my stout yet, but I should buy it soon. I don't know if Naga Sirens will always go Stout Shield necessarily, but they will usually grab items like... I'm sorry, I don't know if they necessarily go Poor Man's Shield, but they do grab at least a Stout, I believe. And that's because jungling with it is pretty required, because otherwise you take too much damage. If you get a Stout and you have high armor, the amount you take from neutrals is very, very low. So in the case of Naga Siren, things are pretty safe here. Now with a Lion being mid, things get a lot scarier for me. I can just right-click my illusions on him. It's good to do that, in my opinion, while you're going to pressure for a tower. He'll just run away. I've grabbed a DD here, and I do still see that they're both mid, and this is where I made the biggest mistake of the game, and that was getting way too close to the line here. He's level 6, which means he has his ultimate, so I absolutely can't afford to let him stun me, because him plus any other nuke is going to result in me being killed. We did see the Skywrath moving to the jungle here. I wanted to shift over to try to grab the Skywrath kill, but with Axe already being dead, it wasn't worth me continuing to pressure that. And then going for this creep was a huge mistake. I ended up getting caught barely, and the Silence with the Finger of Death is going to be an easy kill on me. So that was so stupid. I saw the Skywrath Mage coming back mid. I just saw that last creep, and I was like, I want to get that. And I went for it for some completely dumb reason. I basically threw a gank into their hands by doing that. What they should have done is they should have smoked either the line or the Rubik, and they should have swung around this way. Oh, you can't see, I forgot. Let me go free camera for just a little bit. Okay, you can see my boxes. They should have swung around this way with the line and the Rubik, and then they should have ganked me mid. I could have died a lot of times. I didn't play this game safe at all. And they should have came around and they should have ganked me very often, especially with a good ganking hero or a good killing hero like Skywrath Mage. There's no reason that they shouldn't be going for kills on me often as a Naga Siren, because that's the only way that you really shut the hero down is by ganking her often. A couple nerfs to the hero that have lacked or at least affected her play in the pro scene has been illusions do less damage to towers now by 25%, I believe. And the other big nerf was that, maybe not a big nerf, but a nerf, was that her cast animation for her Song of the Siren is higher. I think it went up to a second instead of 0.6 seconds. So her get out of jail free card basically has been reduced, which is Song of the Siren. So it's a little harder for the hero to get her ultimate off. If I would have casted my ultimate in time when the line went for the stun, we would have gotten a kill there. Or I wouldn't have died at least. So I used my Song here offensively to get the Axe into position so that he can get the call off on me. I really didn't want to get double stunned because that would have resulted in us dying. And he did have level 6, so pretty easy catch there. It was like so much damage. It's too bad that we lost vision by a little bit there, because I think we would have been able to kill the Razor there. I didn't want to get hold here either, although I did need some mana, so I had to bottle up a bit. I think I actually missed my Riptide there. That was pretty sloppy. So if you're chasing somebody and you want a Riptide, you should probably just do an M command, like a move command on one of the guys using the illusions, otherwise you're going to miss it. Because if they attack, they stop moving for a second and attack, and then your opponent runs away. So if your illusions aren't really fast, Riptide chasing is best with an M command. And I did finally get my Stout Shield here. Poor Man's Shield might have been better, but I think with this many magic nukes as the opponent team has, I think it's okay to skip getting the Poor Man's Shield, since that really just gives me physical damage survivability. So now I'm going to go back to jungling a little bit on the medium camp, as I jungle, or as I lane with my regular creeps. And I use Riptide with my hero, which is going to help me jungle faster, and it's also going to guarantee me that last hit. He's doing his best to stop my last hitting, but I'm still getting it done. I did end up killing the Centaur. I actually didn't take that much damage. I mean, the high armor with the Stout Shield makes a big difference. Obviously, having a Riptide would have been a lot more useful, but there's a lot of heroes mid, and this is one of the benefits of doing the jungling, is that it makes you a lot safer. If I'm sitting there last hitting with my hero rather than my creeps or my illusions, then I have to worry about dying all the time. If instead I'm in the jungling, and all the heroes are mid-sitting, then that gives me a much lower chance of dying because I'm spending my time in the jungle. The dangerous part is my illusions, and my illusions are completely... I can let them die, and it's not a big deal. So I grab a Bounty Rune here. This is pretty nice. Obviously I have a ward there. Riptide's actually a pretty good spell to steal for them. Yeah, not having Song's a little dangerous. I did use it to get a kill on the line, but maybe that was... I don't think that was greedy. I think getting kills with Song is a really undervalued part of Naga Siren that most people don't do at all. They need to do it more. Yo, that is a haste rune. I really like haste runes. At this point, you would think, oh, get ensnare, obviously. But a lot of... I think I ended up grabbing... Oh, I messed that up so bad. My micro was still pretty weak. It flustered me a lot of the times. I think it looks like I did end up getting a stats level. People have different skill builds on this. A lot of Nagas will just get stats because they just want as much stats as possible because it gives you more mana, which lets you use mirror image more, and it lets your illusions do more right clicks. There's a lot of really good reasons to just have more stat points, but getting at least one ensnare is usually pretty good because otherwise people can teleport away from you in most cases. I decided to use my haste here to try to go roam and help get a kill. Thought there was a pretty good chance of this, so I was just gonna song here because I wanted to be able to guarantee the kill on that guy, but also keep the Enigma in the area. He probably should have tried to steal from me. Oh, actually I did use mirror image, so him stealing from me wouldn't have been useful. But I figured those were all Rubik illusions. I just didn't really know for a fact, so I wanted to play a little careful there. Luckily, he was last seen a little bit worse than I was. And his illusions do less damage because they have less base stat. So I was able to win that fight, the old illusion fight. But getting kills once in a while as a mid Naga Siren is not bad. I got pretty lucky with the amount of haste runes I got, because haste is definitely the rune that Naga benefits the most from. Illusion is pretty good as well, and regen is also really good. But I think the best one is haste rune. DD is not terrible either, because you can use it to get kills with the sleep setup, but again, just using sleep to set up fights is really good. It lets you get yourself into position. You get to do Riptide on the heroes at the right position. It's really good. Especially, there's a lot of low armor heroes in this game, which allows me to be even more beneficial. Low armor heroes will die very rapidly to right click, so I felt like that was pretty good. Invis rune's useful, but maybe not amazing. It's not really... Naga's damage is decent, but it's not so high that I really want to go for like a huge setup. I only got one of those, I think. That was pretty bad. I also missed that. I missed a lot of last hits that I shouldn't have. I have pretty high CS at this point, 81, but it could have been a lot better. I had to ask the Axe to stop taking my jungle camps. This camp especially is very easy for me to kill with Aquila and a Stout Shield and a Quelling Blade. Even the large camp at this point is fine because my HP is high and my damage is high as well. But in a lot of cases you have to, it's important to have that camp there, and Axe could have jungled other camps as well. So he was lowering my inefficiency, or he was lowering my efficiency. My efficiency could have been higher if he would have been not taking those camps instead. So back to the mid lane to farm. I grabbed an Invis rune. This is pretty dangerous here. I felt like it as well. I feel like if the Enigma would have been more willing to just black hole me, then I could have died a lot of times. Like if they would have started a TP, black holed me. I really like killing Eidolons. They're worth good gold. That's about a last hit of a creep. A little bit less, but still pretty good. So taking those whenever I can is really strong. There's like constantly a lot of heroes mid. See, this is like the mistake that lower level players make. They're like, oh, there's a Naga Siren in the middle. He's doing really well. We need to kill him. And what they do is they come to the mid lane and they stand there. And if they stand there, I'm not going to run up to them, and I'm going to continue farming in a fairly safe pattern, except for that one time where I died to the line stupidly. But if they just stand there, I know there's 3 heroes mid. They're all standing here. They're not getting farmed. They're looking for opportunities to kill me, but they're not enacting them. What they need to do is grab a smoke around, initiate on me, chainstun me, and blow me up. And they're not doing that at all. All they did was basically just stand mid and waste their efficiency. They could have been farming jungle, they could have been pushing other places, they could have been creating space on the map. There's a lot of things that they could have been doing that would have increased their farm rate that they didn't even think to do. It looks like I sent my relic all the way back. That was a pretty big mistake. Should have transferred it to me immediately, dropping either the Quelling Blade or the Stout Shield. I'm not sure which one would be better to drop here. I think Quelling Blade does increase the damage my illusions do as well, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think it does it for PL, because PL was considered too strong with that. Oh, I had like the biggest mess up of item transfers here. I was like, come on, courier, give me my big item. Even dropped it on the ground a little bit. That was scary. But eventually I got my relic. Popped my haste. I should have looked at the fight before I used my haste here. I think that would have been better. I think the Jug could have came back immediately. But I wanted to get the... oh, yeah, that's right. I did have haste. That block actually from the line was really big. I would have been able to chase him a lot closer otherwise. Just a little bit of a net here. And needed to bottle up a little bit. I would have killed that line a lot sooner if I didn't get blocked from the line, so that was a pretty big mistake in me moving. But getting more kills was big. Again, it's haste runes. If I didn't have haste runes, I wouldn't be able to do all this aggressive stuff, but where I just chase people for forever. So those haste runes, I got really lucky with haste runes this game. I got like 3 or 4 haste runes. That's ridiculous. So Radiance is finished. I should have died right there, but they didn't Malefice me for some reason. That could have been a Malefice into a Lift, into a Naga chain ultimate, but they kept hesitating. There's really a lot of hesitations. They lost a lot of opportunities that they could have had here. But anyways, Radiance is done now. It's done at 17, almost 18 minutes. It's pretty good. First thing you do before you go back to base to heal is send your Lucians out so that you can farm. It's the moment where you give them the sense of dread, like, oh crap, his Radiance is done. We're going to lose. Because if somebody finishes a Radiance this early, it really is a really bad problem. Now, my Lucians aren't that tanky just yet here. Oh, I could have Riptided there. I could have gotten like 6 Eidolons. I didn't get them, but I could have. Now you TP back to the mid lane, and you basically make them wish that they weren't playing against Naga Siren. Like, that's one of the big problems with Naga Siren against low-level players. To beat a Naga Siren in this method, it's prevention. It's not about countering them once they have their items. It's about, like, doing a really good job in the first, like, 15 minutes of ganking the crap out of a Naga Siren, otherwise you're going to have a bad time. That's basically what happens. And now what I'm doing is moving my illusions around the map. Now, for this, I recommend that you guys at least briefly look at my VOD of me playing this game, and you check out to see how I'm doing this. I'm going to explain it here, but it's a little easier to see. On replays, you can't see control groups for some reason, so it's not as easy to say, like, oh, this is exactly how I micro this. You can't see it as easily unless you're watching a game. So what it should be, I wish I had my illusions here, because I would have slept to go for the tower. I shouldn't have slept at all. What I shouldn't have done. I should have last hit it and then slept. I wanted to go for the tower, but it wasn't very doable here. They ended up getting it. That was pretty dumb. I should have gone for the last hit and then slept myself, but even then that was dangerous because a Lion and an Enigma, I believe, could kill me. Alright, so the way that you micro the illusions, I'm not doing it very much right now at least, but what you do is you select your illusions, you hotkey them all to one hotkey. As you can see, I did pretty good damage to the Lion here. He thought that one was real apparently, I don't know why. A little bit of a net, and I'll pick up a kill here. I actually felt like I could die here. My movement speed's still pretty low. I should have gone hold right there, but they didn't do it. And now the important part is that my illusions are still up here doing Radiance burn the whole time. He actually has a lot of plus damage. This is actually kind of scary. But luckily for me, I still have Radiance burn. Oh, there. I was actually doing no damage, except for the Radiance. Like, I had a perfect item for Razor stealing all my damage. I still do burn. I think it does like 50 right now. It's really high, 50 damage per second. There was a long time ago in Dota 1 where Radiance only did 35 damage per second. So it's pretty significant compared to what it used to be. Anyways, okay, this is how you micro. You mirror image, you hotkey all of your illusions on a different hotkey. I put them on 2 myself, and then I send them, I first select them all, and I send them to a location that I want my first one to go to. And then I hold shift, and I left click on the item hotkeys, like down, can you see where my mouse is? I gotta go free camera. So in your hotkeys, it's basically down here, like where my picture is basically. That's where your control groups are. And then you left click on the one that you want to shift left click on, and then you click the new location, and then you hold shift and left click your last illusion, and then you right click the same location. So basically you're telling all 3 to go to one place, and then you deselect one unit, and then you tell the last 2 to go to the next place, and then you deselect a 3rd unit, and you tell him to go to the last place. So you're basically issuing 3 commands to 3, or 1 command to 3, then 2 commands to a second last 2, and then a 3rd command to the last 3. And by doing this, you're just spreading them out. It's the fastest way to do it. Rather than selecting one, sending it one place, selecting another one, sending it another place, selecting another one, sending it another place. That gets confusing. If you do the shift queuing, you send 3 to one place, and then you peel one off and send 2 to another place, and you peel another one off and you send another one to another place. That's the easiest way to do it. You'll see me do it on the replay or on the live game. It's really difficult to see it in this one. But the idea is that when you mirror image, you spread them out, and you go to each creep wave, and you get last hits, because the Radiance easily does enough damage to burn them all down. I didn't do a very good job splitting them right now, and I missed a tower last hit here. But the idea is that you want to cut the creep waves. That's the best way to do it. A lot of Naga Sirens at lower levels, what they do is they grab Radiance, and then they farm the crap out of their jungle, and they're like, wow, look at all this farm I'm getting. And they are getting a lot of farm. But the problem is that you're preventing your team from getting farm when you do that, because your jungle is the safest place for your heroes to farm, including your supports. So what I do want to do instead of farming jungles is I want to hit creep waves. Creep waves have far more gold, like I said before, than the neutrals camp do. So at least at this point I'm playing a little safe here, but what I want to do is I want to cut the creep waves. So as you can see on the top lane, I run one illusion to the creep wave, I will use Riptide occasionally, and then again I'm going to cut the creep waves here. I'm going to run this illusion. This won't be enough to kill this one because I think this illusion is going to die, but I can shift over here with my main here. I actually missed micro there pretty heavily, I almost died. But bam, I pick up another 4 creeps, that's about 200 gold. I just realized another reason you don't want to watch this video. It's because you don't get to hear the gold sound. The gold sound is so beautiful, and you don't get to hear it very much in this video. But I promise, go watch at least like watch my late game period, where I'm getting a lot of last hits and spreading things out. I recommend listening to that because it sounds so beautiful when you play Naga Siren. It's the best thing about it. You spread your illusions out, you get like a billion last hits across the map at all the time. You can farm neutrals as well, though. It's not bad. If you do farm neutrals, it's better to farm their neutrals. So a Naga Siren should be spending a lot of time in their opponent's jungle is the best way to do it. I spend a lot of time in my opponent's jungle. What my opponents should do to gank me is they should get a smoke and they should jump on me, get some wards up, maybe cover in their jungle area, and then they should find where I am and just jump on me. They can easily kill me. Lion, Skywrath Mage, Enigma, easiest kill ever. Lion, Skywrath Mage, Rubik, easiest kill ever. Even like Razor, Lion, Rubik can easily kill me. They just have to find the real one and they have to kill me. But they didn't smoke and they didn't really ever know which one was the real one, and that was one of the issues that they had. And I could very easily pressure all the lanes. Now I still didn't do a very good job with the lanes just yet here, but I will shortly, I believe. He canceled his mana drain a little bit too early there. I don't know if I actually ended up getting a kill or not, but it kind of looks like I almost did. Again, continuing to jungle, you get a Yasha after your Boots of Travel. The idea here is to make your illusions really fast, because if your illusions are extremely fast, then it's easier for you to chase on your opponents, and they can get to lanes that they need to be in a little faster. So here we go, sending one illusion top, shift queuing, sending another illusion to a camp, shift queuing, third illusion to a different camp. And as I do this, they spread out, I get last hits in all these good places. Obviously mud golems are a bit of a problem, but the main lane that I'm pushing is the top lane. I didn't do a very good job splitting the lanes until a little bit later. I'm still not doing it quite correctly. I should have gotten that catapult as well.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I'm just going to song here because I want to set up the fight. Again, spreading illusions out. It's kind of important to send your illusions in one by one if possible. I should have ensnared that probably. I think I very easily could have ensnared that. We did lose Axe, but the fight went pretty easy. You never really want to move your hero in either. It's best when you have the Radiance build to just move your illusions in. They can Riptide, they can Radiance Burn, all that good stuff. At this point, we were pretty set on the win, honestly. I've been doing a lot of pressure on the top and the middle lanes, and they basically spent a lot of time just trying to deal with my illusions. I could Riptide here, but it's a little bit of a waste of mana. It's not like I need to kill this instantly, so it's better if I just spread this out a little bit. I'm sending illusions around, one to the top lane, sending one for the next wave. And at this point, it becomes looking at the clock. You say, okay, creeps are about to spawn. It's almost the 1 minute mark. Creeps spawn. I put my illusion in position on multiple lanes if I can. I set it on the mid lane. I set it on the top lane. I set it on the bottom lane. And bam, I get 3 creep waves. Just like that. Got 4 creeps there. Got 4 creeps top. Got some creeps bottom since there were other creeps messing with this. But the important part is that not only do I get 3 creep waves, but I also cut 3 waves in terms of pushing. Look at where the creep wave is this whole game. Do you think that our team has any trouble finding farm here? They definitely don't, because the waves are always pushed. Now this does decrease my farm, or sorry, decreases my team's farm a little bit. Again, spreading the illusions, 1 each creep wave since new creep waves are out. But do you think my team has any trouble farming this game? They may not have lane creeps to kill, but they have 2 entire jungles to get, and there's always tower pressure. Because if I cut the lane creeps, my creeps are then hitting the tower. So even though there was a nerf to Naga illusion, or to illusion damage to buildings, it doesn't matter that much. Because the damage I'm doing to buildings is based on my hero, or my creeps. My illusions kill their creeps, and our creeps do damage to their towers. It gets harder here now that we have to go high ground, but we have a full tower advantage. We can grab Roshan whenever we want to. Not that I don't know if the Jug ever did or not, but we have a huge tower advantage. This is something else that you can start doing once you have Manta. You can send your illusions from your mirror image to your creep waves, and you can use your illusions to go had a lot of trouble microing here, but again, one illusion each wave. I was a little bit behind here. I shouldn't have let the waves come up so much, because that's farm that I could be grabbing. I used Riptide there because I thought I'd be able to get the Centaur, but apparently it didn't happen. It timed out a little bit too fast. But again, farm the safe camps with your... I will take that. Farm the safe camps with your hero. Farm the creep waves, the dangerous places, with your illusions. That's the best way to do it. And you basically just keep bottles so that you can continue getting mana regen. The Aquila is good for mana regen, but it's not enough because you're casting Mirror Image, you're casting Riptide, all that stuff. Creep waves respawn, I can re-jungle them. Mirror Image when ready. I should have been moving with my hero to the rune spot while I did this. No reason not to. And then I messed up all the pathing. I think this is when I was trying to micro with my Manta style, and I was making mistakes. This whole time I could have grabbed a rune, something I didn't keep in mind. It's very easy to see your mistakes when you're watching the replay, but when you're playing live, I felt like I was doing a pretty good job, but I really wasn't. But if I played Naga Siren a bit more, I'm sure I could micro the illusions a bit better. Naga's pretty bad against Storm Spirit. That's one hero that I would say like you don't want to play Naga mid versus, because Storm can clear the illusions really easily, and Storm's a very popular mid right now, so I don't think Naga mid is going to work at all. But in pubs at least, I think it might work if there's no Storm, but...
Monster kill.
Again, 3 creep waves. Push top, push middle, push bottom. The cooldown on Mirror Image is a little bit longer than the creep respawn, by the way, it's 40 seconds, so you won't get every single creep wave, but you will usually get quite a few. I think I sold my Quelling there, picked up a Reaver. At this point, you definitely want to get Heart. Heart is the right item to get. Again, splitting illusions, 1 top, 1 mid, 1 bottom. That way they'll be there when the creeps are up. And then I'm just going to wait for a rune, and sending my courier to go get my Heart. Once you get the heart, it becomes even harder to kill the Naga. Again, the way to counter the hero is to burst her down. But if she has an extra 1,000 HP, then things get a lot harder. The line actually did kill some of my illusions there. That's pretty good. Fortunately, my illusion ended up dying. But he's got like full damage sap. My ulti was actually wasted there, I believe. I don't think I did anything. I initially casted it so that he could get away, but then the Eye of the Storm was likely to kill him. I was like, well, what he probably should have just done is ran away. I think that would have been better. God, regens are so good at this point when you're missing all of your mana. Again, Shift Q, split 1 illusion, Shift Q, split 1 illusion, move it away. And now my heart's finished, so if they do want to kill me, they have to go through 2,800 HP. If they can't do that, I'm going to cast my ultimate, and then I'm alive. So that's why getting the HP is good. It also makes my illusions harder to kill. My illusions have a lot more HP. And again, 1 illusion to each lane, and then I'll use my Manta to send to jungle camps. That way I can jungle those as well. Oh god, I love Eidolons so much. Those do actually have magic resistance, but you still can clear them pretty easily using a Radiance here. Obviously attacking the creeps helps, but you don't have to do it. Just makes a bit of a difference. Mirror Image is ready to go, and at this point you make Diffusal Blade or Butterfly. In a lot of cases you'll make Butterfly because it prevents their carries and their supports from being able to right-click your illusions down. And at that point they're pretty much hopeless, but I wanted to go Diffusal Blade because it gives me a little bit more offensive potential. Now you don't necessarily have to play as obnoxious as I did this game. I could have probably finished the game here, but I just kind of wanted to get 6 items. I didn't really need to play this safe, but you know, my team was able to basically just farm whatever the heck they wanted in the meantime, and as was I. I'm getting a ton of farm, and my allies are getting a lot of farm, if they do have, like, Mask of Madness, Quelling Blade, stuff like that. I could have waited to use that Riptide until I got over here, but I wanted to try to kill the Centaur. I don't know if I got it in time, to be honest, but... Man, this video is so missing the gold sound. I love the gold sound. I seriously feel like you guys should go watch the video afterwards. It's so much more fun. Because you just hear the gold sound so often. I mean, you have 348 last hits at 32 minutes. And that's what you do. You just get a stupid amount of last hits. Line did a decent job, honestly, killing my illusions. A lot of the times he would kill the one that was in the lane, prevent me from getting full CS. I'm still getting a lot of last hits, though. So there's my Diffusal Blade coming up. Diffusal Blade obviously makes your illusions all hit harder. He had to Hex and Mana Drain to get those killed. So it's kind of a big impact for Line to use that. A lot of Nagas at this point, by the way, will still continue going stats, but I think that's a mistake. I think going for the leveled up Ensnare is still worth it. Because it's still a disable. In the late game, you're trying to lock down carries and cores and stuff like that. If you do end up getting more Ensnares, that's more duration disable. I got fed so many Eidolons this game. And they said just push, which at this point I was like, that's pretty fair. At this point I was like, I have Diffusal Blade, I'm like, my illusions do a ton of damage, I feel pretty confident. We got Aegis. We should add Aegis every 10 minutes.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I can understand why they were annoyed, because honestly this playstyle is so frustrating to play against. We even scrimmed against Miracle a few times. He's the C player that was really good at Naga. God, those games were just painful. We would get wrecked almost every time because I was so bad at ganking then. So he would just grab really good items all the time. And he would get his Radiance really fast, and then we'd have like the most painful 25-minute game ever. Maybe not 25, but you know, he beat us very, very rapidly in many games. And mostly just sitting my illusions back, occasionally ensnaring on the right people. At this point, it's very easy to chase, you know.
Dire's bottom barracks are under attack.
Last item is Butterfly or Daedalus. Well, technically the item you maybe don't get is the Diffusal Blade. You almost always are going to want a Butterfly, unless you're like behind and they have an MKB. Then maybe you don't get Butterfly, but Butterfly is so good. I mean, it not only evades hero right clicks, especially it evades tower right clicks. So you can just tank towers endlessly with it. That part's really good too. So I'm going to spread my illusions again, one in each lane, so that the game ends a little bit faster here. And again, just counter pushing, or split cutting, really, every lane. Creeps are almost up.
Under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen.
I had to use Diffusal there, really. Manta Stop for bonus damage. Boy, did they die fast. Holy crap. And I'm just going to go run out and grab my Butterfly for fun. But let's look at the net worth, see what it's like. My GPM is about 800 here. My net worth is like stupidly high. And this is basically what Naga lets you do. It's kind of like an anti-mage. It lets you farm so fast, like compared to anyone else in the game. Like any other hero is not really farming at a capable or a comparable manner, but it's like ridiculous just how fast this farms. And I'm 6 slotted. I have 6 full items at 36 minutes. I could have grabbed a Diffusal Blade too, obviously, but like, isn't it obscene how fast you farm with this if you do it correctly? Now, again, this meta is out of style. Like, nobody plays this role anymore. They don't play Naga Siren like this, but you still can. I mean, I did it this game. This is an unranked game, so it wasn't a very good example, but you just grab a lot of less hits. Your net worth goes crazy. You hear the gold sound a lot. I could have microed this better, and I should have last hit better, and I should have evaded gank slot better. A high ground ward mid is really useful as well, for example. But yeah, I had 825 GPM. My XPM was almost 700, and that's all without a Midas. You just farm really rapidly using your Radiance, and split pushing, Riptide. You can contribute to fights really well just by getting Radiance and movement speed, and then your opponents can't really do a whole lot. They even had the hero counter. They had Line. Line's the best support hero against Naga. You mana drain the illusions, they get one shot. You hex them, they get one shot. Another good hero, maybe like, I wouldn't say Shadow Shaman's necessarily good, but he does have a hex at least, so he does have a way to counter it. But Line is definitely the best one. Pugna with Ags is really good because the life drain functions the same as the mana drain. You can one-shot illusions. So just one-shot them using Aghanims. That's another good option if you do want to counter the Naga. I wouldn't say it's a good option because Naga still kind of wrecks Pugna in a lot of ways, but if you kill the illusions, that's most of the battle. Killing the illusions is almost everything. And Mirror Image is a pretty long cooldown. It's 40 seconds, so if you can get Aghanims on a Pugna fairly early, I feel like it's okay. And you could probably do Pugna mid versus Naga very, very well because Pugna has a spammable nuke as well. that you can use to clear the illusions pretty fast. At least in the early game. If you keep Naga shut down, you can get to the late game, get blink daggers, and gank her a lot. It's an option. So that's playing Naga Siren. I know I haven't made a Naga game in forever, so I thought I would play her, and I played her on stream yesterday, and it worked out pretty well. So that's how you play Naga. Go check out the link down below. It should be to the Twitch VOD of this game, and I will see you guys later. Bye.